You should remember, my TMP friends, how much I love this gun on the background wall here in the bunker. HOF, GTW, love it. Yes, let me set the stage on how much I love it, at least for introing the video. Ready? Here we go. The night is dark. I'm asleep. The sleep is fitful. I have that same reoccurring dream. It's disturbing. I hate that dream. I'm outnumbered. Circumstances are dire. Where did everybody go? Why am I alone? My cause is just. I need a weapon that will not fail me. I need a weapon that won't let me down. I need a weapon that hits hard, that I can trust my life to. I call out its name. Be my savior in these dire circumstances. Please don't let me down. And scene. A little bit of acting to intro the video. Just a little bit. Yeah, I can act. Kind of. Not really. What's that? Which gun? Oh, well, yeah, I guess I got 4 in the background. Which one was I talking about? I think you know, but let me spell it out. Could it be the SGL 31 545 stamped receiver AK? Could very well be. Total HOF. Reliable, bet your life reliability, GTW, yes, it could be, but I wasn't talking about that one. M249 Mini-Me? Could. I don't have enough money to feed that gun. Plus, it's an airsoft. It's not even real. Great bunker decoration, don't you think? It looks legit. Totally, that thing is awesome. No, not talking about that one. How about this one on the bottom? The Tavor. Oh, another awesome GTW bullpup. I could have been talking about that one. I wasn't though. All of them are HOF. I ain't gonna lie. They're all HOF. I was talking about this one. Mr. Draco, the Mini Draco. This one right here, dudes. I love this gun. You remember it. I reviewed it some years ago. Very positively. High value AK pistol. Fitted with an SBA-3 tactical brace. For some reason, Tactical Doodle thinks it looks cooler with a drum on it, so we put a drum on it just for the bunker. We never use it. It's got some muzzle device on it, whatever. I love the Mini Draco. It is so excellent. Oh yeah, it also has an MOE pistol grip on it. Okay, so yeah, in that fictitious, it wasn't real, that fictitious dream, I called out the name Draco, don't let me down. And you know what? It didn't. This sucker is reliable. This sucker hits hard, 7.62-39, short overall length, very compact. You can take it most places. It is amazing. But here's the catch. It has some big downsides, the Draco, and that's why I'm introducing it. Doing a little acting, a little bit of fun for the intro. But I want to make a point here. What if you don't want the quirks this gun comes with? Okay, what are the quirks, you ask? Well, I wrote the weight here. As configured, without the drum, it's 8 pounds, 7 ounces. Am I reading that right? I think I am. That's stout, dudes. For a short little gun like this. Yeah. Sight radius is nominal. Very short. I cannot mount optics on it. That is a bad thing. I could mount a rail on it, more weight, more time, and it's really hard to put those optic rails on. Very difficult. Very hard to fit a can on it. Did it, have a whole video out in the desert doing it, and I was really scared of baffle strikes. Super scared because it just doesn't line up well. You're better off just to run a cup on it like I'm doing now, and overall, just accept its quirks and love it for the creature it is. A hard-hitting, very simple AK pistol. Much better, by the way, with the SBA-3 brace on it. Much better. I do love it. I love it so. But what if, again, you don't want those quirks? What if you want to stay within the same caliber, which for most guys and gals in TMP means 5.56? That, my friends, is what this video is about. Buckle in for a feature-length, pretty much systems philosophy video. That's what I'm going to call this. It's a systems philosophy video. Yes, it's a comparison. It is a versus. We'll be talking about an AR-15 pistol, like this one right here, the Delton Lima pistol, previously reviewed, previously loved here in the project. Love it, love it, love it. Versus, get this, a latest gen KelTec RDB, specifically the RDB 17. Which is better? Which is better? That's what this video is all about. Buckle in, feature length, 20, no, 30, no, 40, probably just a bit longer, maybe 45 minutes. I love feature length videos. I love them. For the content that I consume online, I'm always looking for feature length. 40 is perfect. 50, even better. That means I don't have to click around looking for more content to watch on my lunch break, or whenever I watch it in small pieces if I'm in a hurry. Good times. Let's get to work with the specifics, with the categories. Face-off video, AR-15 pistol versus a bullpup. Specifically, for whatever reason, the KelTec RDB 17. Which is better? Which one would I choose? Which one would I want to go to war with? First up, SAWC. You guys know how important this is, right? Uber important. SAWC, size and weight constraints. It's my acronym. I came up with it well over a decade ago. I use it in many of the tabletop reviews, the bunker reviews, to illustrate the point of something being light. In this case, being compact as well. Very important. Now this again is a Delton Lima AR-15 pistol, out of box, naked buffer tube, no magazine, 7.5-inch barrel, 4 pounds, 14 ounces. That's pretty darn lightweight. Now, put on an SBA-3 tactical brace, put on a Lancer magazine, Holosun, I think this is a 503, KelTec can, again, it's a GMT, quick attach. Get this, the weight still, with everything you see on it, 6 pounds, 10 ounces. You may be able to read that on my sticker. So I put stickers on these cast members, or as I call them, content generators. I like that, CG's, content generators. You'll see the specifics right there. So a couple mods, but you know, basically like your AR-15 pistol. Maybe you don't have a can on it. Okay, and by the way, I'm considering this with a can for most of the comparisons we're going to go through. And I talked about that in our bunker review with TD. We say these AR-15 pistols, you should pretty much shoot with a can, unless you want to get your eardrums blown out. We'll hit that again when we talk about shootability and ergos. They are loud, huge fireball. The can, to me, is almost mandatory. But in doing so, in this comparison, I'm probably handicapping the AR-15 pistol a lot, right? Because when I talk about the RDB, I'm not going to consider its weight with a can. Interesting. Just remember that. My video, though, I'm just doing it that way for the reasons discussed. So 6 pounds, 10 ounces. That's with a red dot, not a scope. KelTec RDB. Now, this is the latest gen. I reviewed the earlier gens prior, and one of my thoughts as I went through this thinking, which is better, you know, a bullpup versus an AR-15 pistol, is I was hoping this thing got lighter by KelTec, it got more accurate, and it got more reliable. We're going to hit all those points, by the way, here in the bunker. Stay with me. We're going to get to it. We're discussing right now weight. This, as outfitted, is not light. This is a standard RDB. It's not the survival version. I do have a tabletop review on that one, and I posted that one way back in December 2016. Go check it out, the RDB Survival. I like that gun. It's pretty awesome. This one, as outfitted, so we have a Vortex Strike Eagle, 1:6 by 24 scope, and an Arrow Precision mount. Nothing on the muzzle as it came out of box. No mods, no trigger mods, nothing. I have a Lancer mag, same one you see in the AR-15 pistol. 8 pounds, 11 ounces. Ooh, that's a lot of weight. 8 pounds, 11 ounces. Now, let's be honest and say, well, you have a scope on it and you had a red dot on the other one. Okay, gotcha. So with the same optic, so we're gonna pull off the mount, the optic, we're gonna put the Arrow Precision on the RDB. In theory, it would still be 7 pounds, 10 ounces total weight. I might be off an ounce or two, but that's the ballpark, 7 pounds, 10. So it's gonna be a full pound heavier than the AR-15 pistol. Is that substantial? Nutnfancy says, absolutely, very substantial. That is a lot of weight. Now, I'm not always against more weight, okay? Because sometimes weight can serve a purpose. It's the old firepower versus mobility discussion. And I will give credence where credence is due as we go down these points. But when we talk about and focus in on SAWC between an AR-15 pistol and an RDB, the RDB loses out big time. And as a reminder, that is without a can. without a can. So the AR-15 pistol without this can on it would be even lighter. I would say a pound lighter, so it'd be like 5 pounds, 10 ounces. If you're willing to put up with a blast, a fireball, and all that other unpleasant stuff that comes out of the pistol when you shoot it. How about overall length? And trust me, I'm going to get to barrel length and all that stuff. I know some of you guys are jumping the gun. Well, what about barrel length? What about ballistics? We're getting to them. One thing at a time. We're going to be very structured. Okay, the AR-15 pistol with the can on it, 28.5 inches overall length with this particular suppressor on it. Without a suppressor, more or less, it would be about 23 inches in overall length. That's with the brace retracted, the SBA3. Okay, and you can extend this out, retracted. That's a pretty short overall length. And then the RDB 17 overall length is 27.5 inches with a standard A2 bird cage on it. Okay, so it is shorter in overall length when you compare it to the can. Now, some of you guys at this point will be saying, well, why are you putting the can on the AR-15 pistol? You're handicapping it. Blast and recoil is why. And also, I don't think you need a can on the RDB for shootability. Jumping ahead to ergos, how did it shoot and all that stuff. I mean, it's a 17-inch barrel. You can shoot it without a can. Put some Air Pro on, you'll be okay. That's the answer. Okay, so I'm just going to go with that. Size-wise, overall, I will give the edge to the AR-15 pistol. Other limitations notwithstanding, it does have limitations to it. Yeah, we'll get to those. But I mean, if you pull this off, very short retractable brace, or you don't put any brace on it at all, it's lighter, very compact. I can put it in all types of really cool carry cases, kind of like this. And this video will post. Look at this special case I have. You guys will like it. Ban guns. There is no Planet B. But this is actually holding right now the awesome Remington B3 TAC 13. I can't really twist it around. My shoulder's still jacked. Look at this. Awesome. And by the way, they make this case for an AR-15 pistol. They make it for the RDB. So specific. And, you know, it's a gun case. Yeah, it looks like something else, maybe a violin case, but it's a gun case. It's just kind of tongue-in-cheek, kind of fun. And then this one has provisions for shot shells. That's double-aught buckshot in there. So when we talk about short overall length, SAWC, we're talking about the ability to have the gun with us when we are really not expecting to need such a weapon, aren't we? So why would I go with a compact AR-15 pistol? Why would I go, for that matter, with a bullpup? Why don't I just go with my standard AR-15? This is my go-to-war option. I've always said that. In the AR-15 pistol review, I said that. I was like, hey, I'm not going to use an AR-15 pistol for all my GTW purposes. Heck no. I'm going to use this. This is a 16.5-inch barreled AR I put together years ago. There's videos out on it. I'll go with this. But the answer is this is longer. A little bit heavier, but mostly it's a length issue. So it's harder to transport in our systems. That's why. So we're going to go back to Draco land in that dream, right? By the way, I was just goofing around with that. It didn't really happen. Just having fun. But in the Draco dream, it was with me when I needed it. Where is that place when you need it, Nutton? I don't know. Vehicle, cabin, UTV. I don't know. But that short overall length is very important. Got to press on. Okay, so the AR-15 pistol wins in terms of size and weight. According to my calculations, that's all it is. Next up, ergos and shootability. I have to go over the features as quick as I can on the RDB so you guys get a refresher. I've done tabletops on them. They haven't changed much, if at all. But for guys that haven't seen those tabletop reviews or who won't go back and watch them, I'll try to put links below in the description. Here we go. Super quick. It is a bullpup. I have a love-hate affair with the bullpups. I always have. I've said that. Sometimes I wouldn't say love, actually. I'd say hate-like. I've never really loved bullpups. I've liked them. I'm able to put up with their ergos. But get this, they're just different. You know, we had Nate, sorry, I keep forgetting your name, bro. The TMPer come out with Soldier Boy, and he shot this exact gun in the snow, in the rain, in the cold, and he never had exposure to a bullpup before, and he shot the RDB. And by the way, he liked it. He really liked it. But he did remark, as most of you all would as well if you haven't shot it, man, that thing is different. It's really different from what I'm used to, and it really is. I mean, everything, like I've always said, with a bullpup is right here. You just feel really scrunched. All the controls aren't where you think they would be. You got to kind of change your shooting grip. You know, the bolt release on the RDB is way back here, so you got to use your offhand for it. I always feel with a bullpup, I'm really scrunched up. I've always said that. Okay, as a review, let's look at the controls. So here's your 45-degree sweep safety. Not really awesomely placed because here, you know, you're looking at the right side of it. You could use your index finger, I have, but that's even more awkward. You got to come like this. I wish it was a 90-degree sweep. I said that in the original review. Even on this side, I'm right-handed. You got to come here. You're still kind of coming back, right? It's not where you would think it should be. Your magazine release is right here. That's different. You could get used to it. Your bolt release is right here. I showed you that. I mean, it's just odd. Here's your charging handle, non-reciprocating variety. That's good. You know, charging it, not a big deal. We're used to that. You know, there's some other weapons we fired that have charging handles up here. HK comes to mind. The C93 comes to mind. I can deal with it. Handle folds, not a big deal. Non-recip again. But it is different, right? Very different. The good side to at least the KelTec RDB, I would say, is that it's a great ambidextrous weapon. We have downward ejection on it. So you don't have to worry about brass coming and smacking you in the face if you're a left-handed shooter. It just ejects downward. And what do you know? You know where to find the brass. It's freaking perfect, actually. After spent, I don't know, hundreds of hours policing brass out in the desert, I come to appreciate the RDB. Yeah, I know where to find the brass. Instead of on hands and knees, literally, the crew and I, for hours picking up brass and basically other people's brass and garbage as well. Yeah, we do that. I like the downward ejection on the RDB. I've come to love that aspect, by the way. And that makes it a great ambi rifle. So it doesn't eject left or right, it ejects down. All you need to do really is swap over the charging handle. So right now, out of box, it's oriented to the left side. But it's easy enough to take the RDB apart with these 4 push pins right here and swap that charging handle over to the right side if you're a lefty, breaking the gun down to its 4 constituent parts. The stock assembly, the receiver, the bolt carrier group, and the op rod, and the forearm. Pretty easy to do, actually, the RDB. It takes apart almost as easily as a Tavor. Okay? Super quick features on the RDB. So great lefty rifle, that is an option. About a 2-inch width on the forearm. Once again, it is a little bit fat, but it is workable. There's a flange here to keep your hand from slipping in front of the barrel. Has an A2 cage on it, stupidly locked in with a lock washer. Why? Why do that, KelTec? It's a pain in the butt to put something else on. Can you get that off? Yes, but it is a chore. I don't know why they put a lock washer on there. They did it because they didn't want it to spin. No. You don't do it on other guns. You don't need it on a bullpup. The Tavor didn't do it. You know, AR-15s galore don't do it. Just put a lock washer on it. It times perfectly. Doesn't spin off. Voice of experience. Trigger on the RDB is pretty good. 4.5 to 5.5 pounds. A little bit of creep. Good as an AR-15 trigger? Nope, I wouldn't say so. But it's okay. And your tie-in points for your sling on the KelTec RDB are as follows. On each side, you can tie it in here. You got a nice little hook right here, both sides of the gun. And then you can tie into the back portion of the stock right here. Nice cheek piece, especially in FDE color. It doesn't transmit too much heat out in the desert. I find it to be comfortable and of the right height. Rubber butt pad, non-adjustable length of pull, but it works for me just fine. And then we have the standard pistol grip that many KelTec weapons have. Quick features rundown. Oh yeah, and then the long Picatinny rail on this version of the RDB has been fixed. In earlier versions, this came loose in our shooting, and sent with love from the Nutnfancy project to KelTec. I said, dudes, come on now, tie this thing down. I mean, put more screws in it, Loctite it, because we had it come loose on the ridge top at night shooting the RDB. That was with Chad, by the way. He wasn't hitting. I was like, what's going on with your gun, dude? Shooting at like 400 yards at night. Lo and behold, the whole rail had come loose. It seems like it has been fixed in this generation. We shot this one a lot. It did not come loose. And then we got a pick rail on the bottom right here. None on the side And that's it. Features review on the RDB. Down and dirty. You guys know about the AR, right? Don't need to talk about the ergos on this. They're fantastic. Standard setting ergos. You can swap out anything you don't like easily. You can't say that about the RDB, by the way, because there's really not that many accessories for it. I mean, M Carbo has a trigger spring kit for like $15 for it. It reduces the pull weight down to 2.5 pounds if that's what you want. You could experiment with that. I would probably just leave it stock. It seemed just fine. But AR-15, dude, sky's the limit. Grips, triggers, bad levers if you want, different hand guards, cans, all kinds of optics, charging handles, different braces if you want. Again, sky's the limit. I do want to say this in this comparison, in this face-off though. When we shoot AR-15 pistols in TMP, we have noted they get hot. I mean, it is a very short distance from this gas tap-off point. This is, again, a DI gun from here to here. That's a lot of heat going back to your bolt carrier group, and they get hot, and it is a disadvantage. It is. I'm going to circle back to that because it plays when we consider another aspect in this face-off. Yeah, they're hot. And so when we consider the advantage between the two guns, ergonomics, you know, the weird ergonomics of this RDB bullpup and the pretty awesome ergonomics of the AR-15 pistol, you're used to them. They're intuitive, they're swappable. I'll give easily the win to the AR-15 pistol, even though it does get hot. And that is a disadvantage. I mentioned it, it's represented, but everything else outweighs it. I mean, standard magazines, of course, RDB takes AR mag as well. And this is an ultra important point here in the bunker, ergonomics, because it means you can shoot the gun well. You're gonna have to train with that RDB a lot, get used to it, dry fire it a lot, carry it around, get your muscle memory down where it needs to be good with it. On we go to reliability. Okay, the initial RDBs we tested from like 2014 to 2016 did have a couple issues. Okay, in the running guns in the desert, for whatever reason, was it magazine related, you know, gas system related for the RDBs? Go watch those videos, we talk about it at length. But they choked a little bit, not a lot. So in this latest generation, I'm keeping my fingers crossed like, man, I hope this thing runs 100% on steel case, 77 grains, 62 grains, 55 grains. The answer is, it was 100% reliable. Thank heavens. Yeah, an all-around shot, and I probably pumped, I don't know, 700 rounds through this sucker. This exact RDB. We didn't have a single misfire that I can remember. Again, if I go into post and find one, I'll let you know and just put an annotation on the screen. But as I remember, this thing was 100% reliable. And I just left the gas system where it came out of box. Manual says it's set up for M193 loads, which by the way is a pretty hot 5.56 load. I love it, just not accurate. But I didn't mess with it. And lo and behold, in this generation, they still have not marked it. As a user, I only want about, I don't know, a maximum of 4 different settings. Label them clearly. This has a whole bunch of settings. You actually have to like rotate it in one direction and count the clicks from that side. Looking from the top of the gun, clockwise is more gas pressure, counterclockwise is less gas pressure in the KelTec RDB. I think though, like me, if you just leave it in the setting it came to you out of box, you'll be fine, unless you put a can on it, and then you're gonna have to experiment. That, by the way, would be an advantage to the AR-15, wouldn't it? So this gun has no adjustability in its gas system. We throw a can on it, and guess what? 100%. Yeah, is it a little bit overgassed? Yeah, for sure, but it still runs fine. And for the amount of rounds we'll realistically put through this, it'll be good. It'll be good. So reliability, the RDB was fantastic, no failures. How about an AR-15 pistol? I will say within the last, I don't know, year and a half or so, I have learned about these guns a lot more. I used to think they were not reliable. I used to think they were absolutely inaccurate. I was wrong. The AR-15 pistol is actually a pretty solid platform within its limited scope. This gun right here, the Delton Lima pistol, nearly, not completely, but nearly 100% reliable. I think somewhere in the testing process, we had a couple light primer strikes. With the can on it, I don't remember. So I'll give the reliability, I have it on my list, I haven't been saying the numbers, but I'll give the reliability 4. That's pretty darn good. And a lot of users, you'll see them in comment, will give their reliability 5 with their AR-15 pistol. Say, yeah, it's just fantastic. I've never had a jam in it with all kinds of loads. But in this category, reliability, I'm going to give the nod to the RDB. I give it a 5 from the latest testing. So I think generationally, this latest RDB is pretty solid. On we go to accuracy. This gun right here, the AR-15 pistol and ones like it, I think at 100 yards, you can expect about 2 MOA accuracy with really careful shooting with ammo it really likes. Depends on your barrel length. It depends on the quality of your barrels. This one right here falls into that category. About 2 MOA, careful shooting. Sometimes it expands to 3 MOA. Okay, you can go watch that review again. Is that great accuracy? No, but it's an SAWC platform. It's very lightweight. It's technically a pistol, and you're shooting it at 100 yards. I actually think of these guns as 50 yards in, and 50 yards in, MOA easily. You know, it's tight, nice groups, especially if you put a red dot on it. Yeah, the accuracy, there you go, about 2 to 3 MOA. There are variances. That's just a representation. How about the RDB? Back in 2014, I noted the same accuracy level, 2 to 3 MOA. And guess what? It's about still 2 to 3 MOA. Here we go with some paper. This is 50 yards with the very gun you've been looking at the whole time. Look at this atrocious group. Shooting a variety of loads, 55 grains. That one's really good, just 55 yards though. Good, good, good. Opened up a bit, opened up a bit. Not too bad except for a flyer. I brought out Sean the TMPer, who helped me test this newest generation, KelTec RDB. By the way, thanks to Gunnies, the great American gun store, for the checkout. Yeah, go give them some business. Tell them thank you. Contact information below. They have a really cool web store online too. Tell Wyatt thanks. Go punch him in the shoulder. Orem, Utah, great American gun store. Gunnies. Yes. So when I check this out, in my mind, I'm like, oh, please be more accurate. Please be more accurate. Put a better barrel on it. This is what Sean the TMPer did with it. This was windy, by the way. 100 yards, only a 6 power scope, right? The Strike Eagle. So that's not too bad. That's a really good group. Good, good. What do you know? About 2 MOA with careful shooting. It liked this load, so we tested mostly 55s. And can I show you this one? I have another gun on this target that I don't want to show you yet. That review's coming up. So there's another group right there. There's another group right there. Cool. RDB then, I'm going to say it's about the same accuracy as an AR-15 pistol. So I'm going to call this a draw between the two. Which one's better, AR-15 pistol, RDB? About the same. If you want more accuracy, go to a full-size platform. But I'm a little bit disappointed that this is not more accurate. Just going to say. How about the Tavor? You saw it right here. It's more accurate than the RDB, not by a lot. I'd say 1.5 MOA with ammo it really, really likes. Usually it's around 2 MOA as well. They're not free-floated. They're bullpups. The Steyr AUG was about the same way. The FS2000, I did review that one. That was more accurate. I thought that was better, but FNs are just generally really accurate. They have really good barrels on them. I talk about it in all the FN reviews. Accuracy is a draw. How about cool factor? Cool factor, is that really important for what we're considering here in the bunker? That is a Hall of Fame go-to-war bullpup or pistol. It's not critical for that, but I think for most guys, when they buy a gun, you guys, you want something fun. You want something exciting for you personally. You don't mind it when someone comes up to you at the range and starts talking about your gun, do you? So what is more cool, the RDB or an AR-15 pistol? Once again, on my notes, and I should have been doing this all along, excuse me, I have been giving it numerical grades, 0 to 5. 5 is like really, really good. 0 is like really, really crappy. And I'm being kind of extreme on this just so I can get a clear winner. I'll say the RDB is cooler. You're going to get more comments at the range. Guys just don't see the RDB too frequently. They've heard about it. They've read about it. They've been in, YouTube here watching reviews on it, and they just are curious about it. How does it shoot? Do you like it? They want to handle it. They want to shoot it. If you have your AR-15 pistol there, I think it will be mostly invisible. Yeah, most guys won't really care. They won't really know that it's, a specialized AR-15 platform. Maybe if you have a can on it, But I mean, that's what other people think, but I'm really kind of trying to focus on what you think, which one is cooler to you. You know, I think video games make the bullpups cooler, and a lot of young people have grown up shooting all types of bullpups and all types of combat, first-person shooter vid games. It just has a cool factor for them. So I'm going to give the nod to the RDB. Better second cool factor if that's important to you. How about, in no specific order again, these points are just kind of jumping around. How about go to war factor? Which one would I want to go to war with? I may surprise you in this. Okay, let's step back a little bit and consider what that means. We talked about reliability already. We talked about accuracy already, but we're also talking about durability, aren't we? Something that you can knock around, drop onto cement, get it muddy, get it dirty, get it wet, and it's not going to fail you. I think, and I'm not the end-all expert from my own testing, having shot thousands of rounds between platforms like this, I would say it's very close. Very, very close indeed. So I think the AR-15 platform, if you have a really good, mil spec, again, I'm using that in its broadest sense, let's just say high quality bolt carrier group and innards in your AR-15 pistol, I think you're going to be surprised how long it lasts. It should do great. How about the RDB? Well, I think generationally, this is an improvement over previous gens. And I get the vibe after shooting it in the snow and the wind and the rain, this takes, by a slight margin, the go to war factor. Let me know in comment if you don't think that's the case. I know what's going to happen. Guys are going to say, well, I would never trust a KelTec weapon ever in a go to war situation. I've seen that sentiment a lot online. I'm very familiar with it. Don't waste your breath. I probably will never see your comment. But if you feel so inclined, you can post that. That's fine. I just get the feeling this is a more durable gun. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be totally wrong. But in GTW, I'm going to give a bare advantage to the RDB. And I'm talking about kind of like fighting a Fallujah type war. Banging it, knocking it. Is it going to be durable? Will it last? Again, it's a slight margin. Slight margin. And I almost could be convinced to go with the AR-15 platform in that situation. The main consideration I have is that short, direct gas impingement system. It's just a lot of wear and tear, a lot of heat, a lot of carbon buildup here inside, and the RDB is a long stroke piston gun. So it runs cleaner, cooler, quieter, and by the way, in shooting it, it's pretty darn smooth. Everybody who shot this version liked it. They're like, this is pretty cool. It shoots nice. It has a real nice shooting dynamic, the RDB. Pressing on. How about ballistics? Ooh, you thought I might have forgot about that one, huh? 7.5-inch barrel with the Delton, or your AR-15 pistol. And yes, you can get them in different pistol lengths. 8, 10, 12, 14. I'm going to consider the shortest because that is the most disadvantaged for the platform. And it's also given us SAWC advantage, right? So 7.5-inch barrel. Yes, I do have a can on it. I consider the can, again, mandatory for my needs to make it quieter, tame it down. It's going to kill, the 5.56 ballistically. Well, maybe not kill it, but it's going to affect it. Here's some numbers. And again, these are ballpark numbers. Don't hold me to them. If we shoot a standard 55 grain out of the AR-15 versus an RDB, 17-inch barrel on this one. The AR-15 pistol, 2250 feet per second. Okay, the RDB, 2900 feet per second. Okay, so 2250 more or less versus 2900, same load. What if we go to the XM193 or the M193? 2500 feet per second versus 3150 feet per second in the RDB. Again, even though this has a very short overall length, it is a 0.1 inch barrel. Full length barrel, even though it's very compact, there is the advantage, albeit with some weirdo ergos and other quirks of the bullpup design. Big advantage to the RDB. How about if we go with the M855 load? 2296 in the AR-15 pistol, that's feet per second, to 2972 in the KelTec RDB. Basically, let me boil it down. I know that's a lot of numbers. Sorry about that. 23 to 27% more velocity out of this gun. Advantage, KelTec RDB. Or whatever other bullpup you want to consider. Advantage, KelTec. About 27% more velocity. So ballistic advantage, you bet. Now, is that important? Yes, it could be. Depends on your engagement distances. If you're engaging within 100 yards, I'd say forget about it. But if you ever anticipate needing this gun out to I would say 200, 300, 400 yards. I think you're asking your AR-15 pistol a lot. Will it do it? Sure, absolutely. But you're much better served by a full-size platform. You know, full-size AR-15, absolutely. Again, advantage to the bullpup, the RDB. It just is. It's firepower versus mobility, and in this instance, when we talk about firepower, we're talking about ballistic advantage. Like less holdover, doesn't drop as much, it arrives to the target with more energy. A longer barrel's always better, as you know. Now, I did mention it as a separate talking point, the ambidextrous qualities of both firearms. Advantage RDB, I covered it in features pretty much. So the safety lever on both sides, you don't even have to do anything. It's already set up that way. The magazine release right here, set up that way. The bolt release on both sides of the gun, set up that way. Totally excellent. Easy to swap over the charging handle. Advantage RDB. I know you can get AR-15s that are set up for left-handed users. However, there's not that many of them. And all the left-handed shooters that I've met, like Jardine, they have right-handed guns. And they just put up with it. You know, the brass flying in their face, they just put up with it. Stag Arms, you know, did in the day a bunch of left-handed guns. You can find them. If you have it set up, you know, from the factory as a left-handed gun for you lefties, I would say it's a draw, of course. So maybe I shouldn't give too much credence to that. And last but not least, let's go to value. Face-off video, AR-15 pistol of your choice. Again, this is the Delton Lima pistol recommended versus, of course, the RDB Systems Philosophy video, more or less. Which one offers more value? More for your money? Bullpups are not inexpensive. Everyone I know of is very expensive. It's kind of like auto knives. We ask ourselves, why are automatic blades so expensive? Generally speaking, I mean, we have some outliers like the amazing Lightning, of which you should have like 5 of them, linked below. Love the Lightning, it's so awesome. Great high value auto knife, for sure. But this is an exception. A lot of auto knives are like hundreds of dollars, if not more. You know, the Guardian Tacticals, the Microtechs, they're not inexpensive. Bullpups are the same way. This MSRP is at $12.75 currently, subject to change. It'll street a lot less. Go to Gunnies. They have great prices, by the way. Yes. Oh, by the way, no money exchanges hands here. They don't pay me, I don't pay them. It's totally pure. But they do support me. We wouldn't have this video if it wasn't for Gunnies. That's where I checked this one out, $44.73. Yeah, this one is expensive. AR-15 pistol, dang son. You can pick one up for a song and a dance. I'd say like, I don't know, 400 bucks. You know, not without the cool SBA3. You know, you won't have this cool optic on it. Definitely not the can, but much less expensive. Value win goes easily to the AR-15, easily. Plus, it's inexpensive to modify it if and when you need to do it. You know, again, this is pretty much as it came other than the brace on it. I'll give the nod. Thank you to the AR-15 pistol. Well, sadly, it's time to wrap up this face-off video. Yes, it is feature length. We've had a great time, but I am going to declare a winner. Yes, I have to declare a winner. Which is better, according to these categories of which I've discussed, the AR-15 pistol of whatever variety you want, or the KelTec RDB. This is a 17 standard version, non-survival version. The survival version would stack up much differently, trust me. Which one wins? Really nice shooting. Have you been keeping track at home of the wins and losses? If you have, then you would know, according to this list, if we weight everything equally, that is a big if, it is, ladies and gentlemen, the KelTec RDB. I know, I'm surprised too. It does. Now, I did say if you weight everything equally. And by that I mean a win is a win, according to these categories. So I designated a loser, designated a winner. I've discussed all that already. I would put more credence in the SAWC. And in that category, the AR-15 pistol, in my book, for my needs, and for what I would actually realistically employ this gun and ask it to do, this would win. It would almost get like a ×3 factor. So if it wins once in that category, I consider it winning 3 times. If we were to do that, and this is just, you know, theoretically speaking, this would be the winner. Because again, I'm handicapping this with a can on it. I don't have to run a can on it. I can just use hearing protection and put up with all the downsides discussed. This is smaller, more compact. Yes, ballistically less efficient. We talked about that for sure. But dang, son, you know, inside 100 yards, it'll do everything we want it to. But we really didn't weight them. This has a 17-inch barrel, more ballistically efficient. It seems very sturdy, very combat worthy. Time will tell, of course, although there is a lot of time and use on the RDB out there. It's been used in competitions for sure. There's a lot of data out there. I think mostly it's very well received. It is a good gun. It is. And so in this face-off, if we weight everything equally, here's your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Now, will I call its name out in the middle of the dark night in that disturbing dream, saying, RDB, save me, like I did in that example with the Draco? Probably not. I don't really have a passion for the RDB. I don't look at it and go, oh my gosh, that is so excellent. You know, I just can't wait to shoot it again. It's amazing. It doesn't really hold second cool for me personally. It doesn't. For some reason, the AR-15 pistol does. I think it's funner to shoot. It's totally dynamic. TD and I just loved it. We couldn't like stop shooting these AR-15 pistols we tested canned up with a suppressor. They're fantastic. And I think realistically, they'll get it done in the ranges that would be realistic. But that being said, in this theoretical example, winner RDB. Thank you very much. Wrapping it up, get ready to get sad. Hopefully your popcorn lasted throughout this feature-length bunker review in the Nutnfancy project. Thank you to my TMP Patreon members keeping the project going. Thank you to my TMP Patreon members keeping the project going. No, I won't do it for free. I just won't. It's too much work and I have to sacrifice a lot to do this content. It's worth it. I love it, but it is a buttload of work. TMP Patreon for now is working. Who knows what the future holds? Join, support me. I much appreciate it. A lot more videos coming to you from the Nutnfancy project. Again, they will post first in Patreon. Some never make it over to YouTube. They just don't, for the reasons discussed. I think this one will make it over to the A channel, but sometimes they never do. There's just not that much flow over there because of the view numbers. I've talked about it. Join Patreon, you'll see full flow over there. Thank you so much. A lot more knife reviews, gun reviews, system philosophy videos like this one, adventures with like Macy the Mountain Dog, watch reviews. Signing off, Lieutenant Colonel Nutnfancy from the bunker. Thanks for watching. See ya later.